Please make sure you are watching and listening to this video, okay? If you're not listening to it, you're not getting the most possible benefit out of it, okay? And of course, if that's an issue, if you need headphones, let me know, okay? But you're not gonna get credit if you're not listening here, okay? This video is on order of operations. Okay, now the order of operations is a bunch of rules that mathematicians agreed on so that we all do things the same way. Okay, and they said, okay, if you're simplifying an expression, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to work within grouping symbols. Those grouping symbols can be parentheses, they can be brackets like this, or sometimes it's just a fraction bar where you have something on the top of the fraction bar and something on the bottom of the fraction bar, right? And each of those things is a separate group. Number 2, you deal with exponents. Okay, exponents are those little numbers up on top of a number, right? We pretty much have only dealt with the exponent of 2, but we'll get to more later in the year, right? But that says, if I have, say, for example, 4 squared, that is 4 times 4. Okay, next, you deal with multiplication. Now, multiplication can look like the little multiplication dot. It can be, we can use parentheses to multiply. And we can also remember, like if I have something like 5x, that's 5 times x. This is multiplication as well. So multiplication and division. Okay, now division can be this division sign, but more often in algebra we see it as a fraction bar with a number here and a number here, and that's division. Okay, multiplication and division happen from left to right as the third step. And finally, we do addition, which looks like this, and subtraction. Addition and subtraction are nice because they just have the one way they can possibly look, right? And these also happen from left to right. All right, so let's take a look at a couple examples, and then you'll try a couple of practice problems. Okay, let's look at our steps. First, check your space and see if you have grouping symbols. And I see there is a fraction bar here, but notice on the top and the bottom of the fraction bar, there's not like a group of something, right? There's not like an x plus something, a 3 plus something. It's just a number. So this fraction bar is not really grouping anything together. This fraction bar just means division. So there's not really grouping symbols. There are exponents. Here's an exponent right here. Okay, so 4, this is 4 times 4, which is 16. Okay, now, here's what I notice, right? Instead of making myself crazy and copying everything down, I notice there's addition and subtraction right here. Now, I know that those are going to be my last step. So I can actually go ahead and simplify this multiplication and this division right here in this same step. I don't need to, oh, I did exponents first, because at some point I'm going to simplify these two and then I'm going to do my subtraction and addition. It doesn't matter if I do it in this step or not. So I'm going to go ahead and do this multiplication. It's 21. Okay, this is bringing this down. I'm going to bring this down. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, now here's where it would be very common to make mistakes. People are like, oh, addition first. Nope. Addition and subtraction happen at the same time from left to right. So over here, the subtraction is on the left. So I'm going to need to go ahead and do the subtraction first. So 21 minus 16 is 5. Bring this down. And I get 10. Okay. Your turn. Okay. I'm actually going to do both my examples first, and then you're going to do your practice problems next. So here's another example. Okay. Here I have a bunch of grouping symbols. I have parentheses right here, and I have brackets right here. I start with the ones on the inside, right? So if I'm thinking like, oh, I'm going to do the brackets first. Once I look in the brackets, I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to do the parentheses first, right? Got to do the inner ones. And within these parentheses. I have subtraction, I have exponents. So the exponent comes first. So 5 squared is 5 times 5. Okay, and then this becomes 25 minus 10, which is 15. Okay, now see how I cheated a little bit? I didn't recopy everything right here. You could, right? I could recopy everything down. But I kind of like, I was like, okay, I know I'm going to simplify this first. So now that I simplified it, right, you see how I did that? A little bit of cheating. I guess like technically I should have done this, right? But, oh, what a pain in the butt, right? Not really necessary. Okay, so now now every time I look at an expression, I have to think like, okay, do I have grouping symbols? Do I have exponents? I kind of have to go through the whole list, right? So do I have grouping symbols? Yeah, I actually still do have grouping symbols. I have these brackets. So I do those first. 20 minus 15 is 5. And now here, notice here when I was done with the parentheses, I didn't even write them because this is being subtracted. But here, these brackets actually are doing double duty. They're grouping these two numbers together, and they also mean multiplication by -3. So now this is multiply, and I get -15. Okay, now this is your listening check right here. Okay, so if you're listening, you'll hear me, and you're going to draw a smiley face right here. Okay, so go ahead and just draw a smiley face right over there. And then here are your practice problems. Now remember, I'm going to give you the answers to these practice problems. So I'm not so worried about the answers. The work is what I want to see. Okay, and that work should lead to the correct answer. And if you're struggling, then you can ask for help on these assignments. These assignments are a great opportunity for you to ask for help and get clarification as to why your answer is not correct. Okay, so go ahead and try these practice problems. Remember, you have a smiley face right here that shows you're listening. And try those. I'm going to show the answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, please check your work. So you should have at the end those answers boxed, right? This is question 1 and question 2, in case that wasn't clear. But remember, the work should be shown.